And I have a bone to pick with you, Harold, because believe it or not, I have you clocked the fuck in for exactly the type of salmon you are, you maggot-smelling, blue raspberry, shit-stained, potato-built punk bitch. You knew damn well this senile old man wasn't about to hurt anybody. He was minding his business, waiting for the bus just like any other citizen. You saw SpongeBob running down the street screaming for somebody to help him, and all you saw was an opportunity to inflict physical and reputational harm on a vulnerable senior citizen. And don't think for a second I'm gonna give you any kind of benefit of the doubt here, because you've shown time and time again, Harold, that you hold prejudice towards the elderly. Not only did you attempt to physically attack Eugene Krabs after you body shamed him for the size of his claws, you ridiculed him for the speed at which he walks when you know damn well you could have just walked around him the entire goddamn time. He's old as shit and has to use those 2-inch little peg legs to carry around all this excess flab along with that full body corset of a shell. He doesn't even have feet, cut him some fucking slack. And what's more is you wanted to attack that old man under the guise that you were protecting SpongeBob. But if I'm not mistaken, weren't you the same bitch who was sitting in the audience heckling and humiliating SpongeBob during his act on open mic night? And might I add, it says a lot about your character that you only started laughing when he was making racist jokes about Sandy. Motherfucker, when SpongeBob opened up his Pretty Patty stand, you were the first one there to ridicule him and tell him his idea was going to be a flop. All you've ever been to, SpongeBob, has been a doubter and a bully. Oh, but when it's time to abuse the elderly, you suddenly care so deeply about SpongeBob. Get the fuck out of here. The only time you open up those loose lips and show everybody your fucked up crooked ass teeth is when it's time to spread hate and bigotry. And while I'm at it, I could also bring up the fact that you're a good for nothing ass unfaithful bottom feeder of a boyfriend, considering every time you step out on the town you have a new bitch on your arm. Motherfucker, you shouldn't be worried about anybody else when you don't even know how to keep your own dick tucked into your Speedo. Neptune doesn't like an ugly spirit, and that's precisely why he put your constipated ass at the front of your body and that tacky ass shark fin on your back. Pick on somebody your own size for once, Blue's Clues. I have never in my life seen such a grotesque display of arrogance and unearned audacity as I did when you decided to stab SpongeBob in the back like this, you worthless blob of shit surface sucker, big busted bad body and breath bubblegum broke back bitch. Let me tell you something, you can take several seats, Patrick Star, because we both know good and fucking well your sack of shit smelling self would be penniless and homeless begging for spare change on some street corner in New Kelp City if it wasn't for SpongeBob helping you keep the lights on in that crusty rock you reside underneath, fucking feeding your greedy gluttonous ass free food through the back door of the Krusty Krab. As a matter of fact, the only thing you do all goddamn day is sit there writhing in your own filth waiting for him to get back from work so he can come tend to you because you're a grown ass fucking man who doesn't even know how to put goddamn shoes on, let alone wipe his own ass. You are the last fucking soul under the sea that should have any reason to be taking a break from SpongeBob. Nobody else gives a fuck about you, not even your own parents, considering they don't come visit you enough for you to even recognize them. And guess what, you pointy tubblard? You reap just what the fuck you sow, because the moment you felt so high and mighty like you could mock SpongeBob, all those bitches that you were riding with turned around and left your ass there, including SpongeBob. And you know what? He had every goddamn right to do what the fuck he did, because unlike you flabby the fuck face, he doesn't get a day off. He has to take care of you on G-fucking-P like you're his own child. Because you know why? You're a good for nothing ass fucking friend, a good for nothing ass fucking neighbor, and a deadbeat ass fucking father. You already got enough of a break from SpongeBob when you left him at home raising this child by himself so you could go out and watch TV all goddamn day pretending you were making some fucking money. And you know why you did that? It's because you don't give a fuck about anybody but your goddamn self. And you're lucky as fuck too, because best believe if I was SpongeBob, I would have stopped putting up with your bullshit the moment that you threw this little tantrum at the carnival because you expected him to get you some shit for Valentine's Day when you didn't get him shit for Valentine's Day because you're a jobless fucking leech and your ass doesn't got shit. Bitch, you look like mechanically separable chicken. Have the day you deserve, scumbag. Of all the romantic pairings within the Bikini Bottom universe, without a doubt, the most popular and beloved ship is the one between Squidward Tentacles and SpongeBob SquarePants. Proven not only by the sheer abundance of fanfiction and by extension smut that has been written about the two neighbors over the years, but by the fact that it seems even the Nickelodeon staff themselves have a very fond viewing of this pairing. And I say all this to point out why I almost feel like I am going against a well-oiled machine when I stand firm in my opinion that SquidBob is inherently a problematic ship. While some SquidBobbers don't even bother to address the real moral implications of this pairing, some even go so far as to defend it by insisting that because Squidward and SpongeBob work at the same establishment, they are technically peers. However, I find this defense to be rather flimsy. The series itself makes this dynamic extremely clear. SpongeBob is supposed to represent something more akin to an adolescent, doughy-eyed new hire, and Squidward is supposed to be the older, more experienced beacon of wisdom he relies on. In turn, Squidward is very jealous of SpongeBob's jovial and youthful nature. Whereas SpongeBob is obviously meant to represent something more like an eager 16-year-old boy accepting his first real job, Squidward is meant to represent the disgruntled, middle-aged veteran employee who has been stuck in this line of work for the better part of his adult life. Regardless of which way you attempt to spin this narrative, it's not going to change the fact that Squidward pursuing SpongeBob would be highly unethical from the very inception. Squidward is a much older man than SpongeBob is, who has far more life experience, who's worked at the Krusty Krab far longer, who likely graduated boating school 20 some odd years ago. There is obviously a very unbalanced power dynamic here, and that's not even getting into the fact that the way in which Squidward treats SpongeBob would likely lead to an emotionally abusive relationship. It is about high tide time we as a fandom put this ship to bed for good. Alright, now y'all are starting to really piss me the fuck off, because up and down the comments of that video I have people trying to ridicule me, tell me I'm not a real SpongeBob fan, all because I called SpongeBob a kid, which, side note, he is a kid, and y'all want to come in here, oh, actually, SpongeBob is 37. Bailey, did you know that SpongeBob is actually in his 30s? And it pisses me the fuck off because I know exactly where you motherfuckers got this stupid-ass cliff note from. It's because of this little gag they did in the early seasons where they give SpongeBob a driver's license, which, mind you, SpongeBob canonically still does not actually have a driver's license. This is not a reliable source of information that says he was born in 1986, hence where y'all get the SpongeBob is 37 idea from. Now let me tell you everything that is wrong with this fuck-ass theory. First of all, this doesn't negate me saying that he's a kid, because in 1999, when SpongeBob started, even if he were born in 1986, he would have been 13 fucking years old. He would have still been a kid. And secondly, do y'all really think SpongeBob is like moving in linear time? Are y'all really that dense that you genuinely believe that SpongeBob in the new episodes being broadcast today is canonically 27 years older than he was in 1999? That is not how fucking cartoon characters work. For example, Stewie Griffin, who is a baby, has been a fucking baby since 1999. This is a thing that does not change. These types of cartoon characters are completely stationary. They do not age, they are an age. Oh, and I already know what y'all are gonna say next. Oh, well, if SpongeBob's a kid, how does he have his own house? How does he have his own job? Motherfucker, SpongeBob lives in Bikini Bottom. He does not abide by the laws and regularities of the United States of fucking America. He doesn't live here. Not only is SpongeBob explicitly referred to as a kid multitudes of times throughout the series, in the fucking movie, Steven Hillenburg's magnum opus, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the entire premise of the movie is that Mr. Krabs wants to make Squidward the manager of the Krusty Krab too, even though Squidward sucks at his job, because he's an adult and SpongeBob is a fucking kid. It is a thematic pinnacle element. How the fuck do you miss this? And what gets me about all of this is that y'all are challenging me, challenging my knowledge of SpongeBob, because y'all want to defend your predatory, weird-ass sicko ship of Squidward x SpongeBob, i.e. SquidBob. It is fucking weird. Stop it.